I would say for me, like my style is, I think I've been really influenced by, and maybe it's frustration. This is a weird thing. This makes sense maybe in a minute here, but um, some of the, I mean, you're a big, I know you love Stephen King. I do
Yeah.
too. But I just, I mean, 1,000 page book is just really difficult to, you know, I mean, one, you have to have serious, storytelling chops to keep people interested for 1,000 pages. That's one thing. But I also think, Stephen King is a product of the publishing industry, which kind of big bloated books.
Hmm.
But if you look at literature and the history of literature, like some of the best novels and stories we have are very short, and to the point. And I think we got into a publishing world that bloated books because they need to look big on the shelf and kind of show like this is worthy of paying $25 for or whatever.
Right.
Um, and so I would say for me that's a big influence, that some of the stories I've enjoyed the most kind of they're kind of straight line page turning stories that keep you in the story,
Okay.
and just go right, go for it, on the shorter end. So I mean, it's shorter end, but I mean 50, 60,000 word novels.
Right.
Um, so I would say that's just one influence. I realize people's time are you know people reading on phones now and Kindles, and don't have a lot of extra time. And so I want to tell a good story in a short period of time, give them a few hours of fun, and kind of move to the next thing. So that's one influence. I mean, I think my longest book is 60,000 words. So,
Okay.
um, but I'd also say like I have this kind of sarcastic sense of humor as well, and I think that always comes into my stories.
Right.
So I love writing like middle grade stuff and young adult stuff as well. When I've written a few of those, and it's just fun to kind of let that part of your personality come out, and give people, or it's not so. Some books are just so serious, and it's like even when you're dealing with like heavy, dark suffering, murder, crime, whatever. It's like just to have the characters have a kind of a sense of humor. And so I think there's a lot of that. You always have to have your straight man too, but I find a lot of my characters are funny, in many ways. At least I think they're funny. And so I would say that's probably part of it. And then there's always, I think, that third element. I can't get away from it, but it is that the faith element. It's I love, and maybe why I like your stories too, is I love the man or woman or kid that's struggling with faith.
Hmm.
And I tend to have a lot of characters that are, it's not this like nice need. It's just like, I grew up in the church, or I'm in the church, or and I'm struggling and I don't know. And actually this story, it's not a, Christian novel, but it deals with a kid who's really wrestling with his own calling, and his dad really wants him to be kind of go into more ministry stuff, but he's like an artist and he's a writer, and he just feels like that's just not my thing.
Hmm.
And so, I deal with a lot of that stuff, just faith and doubt and pain and struggle, and but also hope and grace. I hope that comes out of my stories too. That even in the hard stuff and the suffering, there's also hope too.